attempt to adjust your programming. You are now listening to B-Movies and Beyond.
Pew!
Is there a blanket?
Yeah, or a cape, whatever you want. I'm down in the basement, and it's a little chilly, and I don't have a coat. I didn't want to go upstairs. I'm lazy.
I just thought of something.
What's that?
I want to let the music play out because that's my thinking music.
You already thought about it. What if you forget? How many times I think of something and then I forget because I don't write it down?
No, dude, you got it. And we're going to TM it right now.
Okay.
After we just say our hellos.
All right, don't forget.
I'm not going to forget at all, Peter. Welcome
All
in,
right.
everyone. What's up?
Hey, it's episode what, 342?
342. We are like 20 away from a year's worth of B movies and beyond consistently.
Dude, we are so close, but we got a great show because we fucking saw Ghostbusters Frozen Empire. What?
We got a story for Ghostbusters before we get into Ghostbusters Frozen Empire.
Oh, yeah, but we saw it and it made me very happy. And we got some new trailers. Bad Boys, Ride or Die, which I had no idea I thought they were done. I keep on thinking they're done after the last one.
Well, I think Hollywood went up to Will Smith and said, "Yeah, you need some more money after you slapped Chris Rock."
Yeah.
You know what? Well, okay, we'll talk about it during the trailer, but maybe they should switch up the villain in this one. And I have an idea. I have two ideas already.
Okay. Oh, dude, you better write this shit down.
I have the best ideas right now in my mind.
Oh,
what else? What other trailers, Peter?
Beetlejuice. Is that really the title?
Fuck yeah, it is. It's Beetlejuice.
Nice.
That just leads me to believe there's a third one coming out.
Yeah, we have the long-awaited Unfrosted, the Pop-Tart trailer. Oh man, I added that one last minute. So Ryan, I don't know if you know about it.
Guess who watched it before they logged on?
Nice. That guy. That guy in a brace.
How do you know I'm in a brace? I told everybody I was getting it off.
I can see it.
Where?
On your arm?
See?
Do you feel like you're a robot?
Hell yes, I do. Especially making this like clanky clank noise. Can you hear it, gentlemen?
Yeah, I can hear it.
Yeah, that's the lock on my brace. So I have this super technical brace going on. Where has a dial over here. See, viewers, and there's a dial, and that's the amount of degree I can open and close my arm after my tendon surgery. So
they give you a range that you can do.
Yeah, I am full bicep curl, so I can do a full bicep curl. Let me unlock my brace. So here, over here, we could go bicep curl. I could go full extent. For example, if I wanted to change it, I can go to 90. Let's go 80 degree. Look, for example. Okay, that's it. That's the lock right there.
So,
I don't know.
So you're supposed to lock that into place for the activity that you're performing.
They only wanted me to lock it for full arm extension. So I can't go past 40 degrees full arm extension. So my doctor, surgeon told me if I do that, all the hard work that they put into my arm, it would rip out and they would have to do it all over again. And I don't want to go through that again. So I'm going to set it and forget it.
Yeah, that's wise. That's very wise. You should do that.
The other wise thing he said was, see this lock right here on YouTubers? You can press this lock right here and just lock at 90 degrees anytime. This comes in handy when you're in big crowds, when you're walking your dog, when you're sleeping, when you're in a movie, when you want people to feel sorry for you.
I just feel like you're gonna use this after the fact and like, hang on, let me lock my arm into place, like do crowd control or push my way through a crowd.
Yeah, I know. I'm gonna ask him for another one.
Oh, for both arms.
Yeah,
nice.
so I just just like lock them in place and just like start elbowing people.
Oh, that's cool. Well,
Yeah.
I'm glad you got your cast off, Ryan.
Thank you.
That's very exciting. We also have news that we're going to cover, some Winnie the Pooh news, and Sonic the Hedgehog.
Oh
So,
yeah.
yeah.
Well, Peter. Oh, I had an idea before in the intro.
I told you to write it down.
Oh, it was your cape. I think. Do you hear that?
No, what?
There's a
Are there
bunch of
ghosts?
wolves outside. Yeah, they might be ghosts. There's ghosts all over the place. Capes, blankets. Oh, dude, easy enough.
Okay.
We should be a cape company.
A cape company.
Sell blankets as capes. Brand them as capes.
Yeah. Did you ever do that as a kid? Did you ever like take a blanket or towel and put a safety pin and run around like that?
Yeah, that's where the idea came from.
Did you ever have the safety pin open and stab you in the neck?
No, because I was always impatient and I always got the safety pin and chewed on it when I was a kid. So it stabbed my tongue.
Jeez. Why? So it's open while you're chewing on it?
Yeah, dude, I was a weak kid.
Well, I got stabbed in the neck by a safety pin because I was just doing too much superhero shit, you know, and it came
I guess
undone.
it's not very safe.
No, no.
Oh
It's
man.
bullshit name.
We went
Oh.
other news, we went to trivia night.
Oh yeah. The last time we did some trivia
Well, you did.
for the horror
Mhm.
trivia, and I think we were cheated, Ryan. That's what I think. I think we were cheated.
And people get mad when we bring like a ton of people. But you know what?
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think it was rigged. I think they deliberately made it so that we did not win horror trivia and we came in second. And it makes no sense at all. It really did not. We do a tiebreaker. We
Mhm.
aced the tiebreaker, and yet somehow we lose. We should have done another tiebreaker. Someone else aced it.
We should have did a chugging contest.
Oh, dude, or flip cup. We're really good at flip cup. All right. Well, enough about our loss. I was really bummed out about that. That's why I don't want to talk about it. Should we get into our question, Ryan? Because I really want to talk about Ghostbusters.
I believe so. Yeah. Let's ask the spirits.
What? How? Why? I have so many questions!
Well, I just whipped this one out of my ass, but going with the theme of Ghostbusters and ghosts and ghost hunting and comedy, and I still can't say his name. Is it Camille Naji?
Camille?
Yeah.
Oh man, why did it? Yeah, Nanjani.
Nanji. Nanjani. There you go.
Nanjani. I had it. I usually don't have any issues saying his name, and then you confused me.
Oh, dude, look what I just found out. I could put my comb inside my brace so I can always have my comb with me.
That's great. I bet you can stick all kinds of shit on your brace. You're gonna be like turn into like Inspector Gadget.
Dude, if it was metal, I would totally put magnets on it so I could just like magnetize shit to it. I just put my phone on there.
Nice.
Oh, dude, I could just put one of those pop socket things right there and just have my phone right there at all times.
There you go.
I have a month with this. I am doing it.
Jeez.
I am doing that 100%, bro.
That's gonna be great. I can't wait to see you next with that thing on. What kind of things you have attached to it?
My doctor is gonna be like, "What the fuck have you done with this thing?" I was like, "Dude, I customized it. Look,
Yeah.
it's got a built-in charger. I can put the charger up here. I can connect my phone there. I'm doing that, dude. I'm doing that 100%. Sorry, I'm derailing this, but I do have a quick question after us. Watching Ghostbusters, try not to give away too much of the plot, but just kind of a general question. If you okay, what was the process where it was like
In Ghostbusters?
Yeah, like how should we phrase it without giving it too much? Like,
Well, they're extracting spirits from haunted items.
okay, perfect. So in doing so, it was removing the spirit, obviously. But if you can interact with a ghost in the spirit realm, who would you interact with? Who would you want to meet up with? What ghost?
Okay, man, you really made that complicated. It's just what ghost do you want to meet? Which I think that's what you wrote down. You had to elaborate.
Look at that. If you can meet a ghost, who would you meet?
Yeah, you had to go down like you got it. You're getting your spirit sucked out. You're gonna be on the astral plane, the spirit dimension, or whatever that bullshit.
I'm just Dan
is.
Aykroyd in Ghostbusters, dude. That
Yeah.
guy just overcomplicated everything.
That's true. Oh man, who would I? So this, all right. So someone is dead. Elvis.
Elvis? That quick, huh?
Yeah, he was the first guy that popped in my head, and I think he would be very interesting to talk to.
Which Elvis? The fat Elvis? Like the Elvis before he died? Oh, what if it was like that person right when they died?
Well, I don't know how the afterlife works, Ryan. So I think I would like to believe that you're the best version or the version that you want to be. Now if I get a say in it, yeah, I'd probably want the fat Elvis.
See, I would pick fat Elvis too.
Yeah.
Who would I pick?
Dude, there's so many people, but I think he'd be really good.
I would.
Ooh, Robin Williams. Nah.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah. I'd pick
Yeah.
See, I'm trying to think like Jim Carrey, but he's still alive. Or like I was like, oh, Hulk Hogan would be awesome, but he's still alive.
What about
Chris Farley?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Chris
I
Farley.
thought you were gonna do like Roddy Piper.
Roddy Piper?
Yeah.
No, I think he would just be way over the top as a ghost. My interaction with ghosts, I just want him to kind of be like chill. I don't think Roddy Piper has an off button. Like if I met the ghost of Chris Farley, I'd be like, "Hey, Chris, what's up?" And he'd be like crazy for a minute. He'd be like, "But seriously, this is what happened." Dude, my other favorite one, Mitch Hedberg.
Oh,
I'd love to meet Mitch Hedberg. Yeah,
that'd be good.
Kobe Bryant.
Yeah.
What if you were able to tell that ghost to time travel, go back moments before their death, and tell them what not to do?
I don't. Jeez, this is really going deep. I have no idea, but if ghosts could time travel, wouldn't they just always go and do that?
Oh yeah, I guess so.
Yeah,
Ghosts can't time travel, huh? Do they have a concept of time?
I mean, I felt like they kind of did in Ghostbusters, somewhat. I guess it depends on the ghost, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I also just like the idea. I like the idea that like in like Sixth Sense, right? It's kind of how they died that you get to see. Like you get to see like them like when they're dead. So like Elvis would be like on the toilet, like that's how I am. That's how I always like that. I don't think I like that. Like, oh, they're all perfect and everything. Like I like the fact that this is how I died. This is my last, visual. This is it.
Oh, if it was last visual, dude, mine would be Michael Jackson or Kurt Cobain.
Oh, Kurt Cobain. Jeez. Wow. I mean, Michael
like
Jackson.
The episode of South Park where Britney Spears blasts her head off. I'd be like, "Hey, Kurt, what's up?" And it'd be like,
"Jeez, that is so dark." Wow. All right, Ryan. I think we got to move on now. Jeez. Let's get into trailers.
Let's do that.
Here are some exciting coming attractions from
B-movies and beyond.
Trailers! Man. We only got 4, and I like that because last week was too much. I actually cut some of them, so you were looking for a certain one, it probably got cut. But yeah, we mentioned it. Bad Boys Ride or Die. No idea they were making another one. Why? And I don't know. I think this is the way it's supposed to be. Will Smith, he can be his action hero, right? No one's going to complain because if he's slapping people, it's all part of the movie. Why is Martin Lawrence? When did he get such chubby cheeks?
Dude, it's almost like he has diabetes.
Maybe. And it looks like this one he's like trying to like lose weight. Like that's what it looks like it was happening the trailer.
His voice and stuff was even different in this trailer too. I don't know if he's just like losing his acting chops or like if he has a problem or something, but he was off in this.
Yeah. But this is, it's like Lethal Weapon. It's all those movies. Like it's gonna be a fun ride. They're always pretty funny, and some pretty cool action scene. All right.
Speaking about a sequel that nobody really asked for, did anybody ask for this? Was anybody like really after this movie like, man, I really need a sequel to this?
Beetlejuice?
Yeah. Think about any generation of time of you being a kid, a teenager, 20 something, your early 30s, late 30s, going to 40s, like you're like, yeah, this movie needs a sequel.
We've talked about it, and like there's been rumors about this for a very long time. I'm trying to think about when it was actually like when it first started like really becoming popular.
Beetlejuice in general, or like the
no, the idea of a sequel. And I feel like what actually really pushed it forward was probably like, seeing that these really old franchises can do a sequel like 20, 30 years later and make a lot of money like Top Gun Maverick. I feel like that's what really like pushed this into existence. And I think I've always heard stuff about it.
Let me give you a timeline of how this sequel came out. I'll give you a brief synopsis. Too long, did not read. There was a sequel called Beetlejuice Goes Hawaiian, and Tim Burton thought it would be funny to match a surfing backdrop of a beach movie with some sort of German expressionism art, because they're totally wrong together. And then for a while, they wanted to make the sequel, Beetlejuice Goes Hawaiian, and Winona Ryder and Michael Keaton were signed on under the condition Tim Burton would direct. However, Batman Returns spoiled that. And then Beetlejuice Goes Hawaiian was still like in the late 90s. And then 2011 was when they were like, okay, we're going to make a sequel. After Dark Shadows and Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter. Oh, wait. Okay. Anyway, long story boring. 2013, 2016 is when they revisited the Beetlejuice thing, and this confirms why it's called Beetlejuice, because they are talking about doing a Beetlejuice trilogy.
Oh.
So we're going to get 2 of them. That's why this one's Beetlejuice, and the third one is Beetlejuice, which makes total sense. And no, I never wanted a sequel. Okay, 2 things. I wanted to bring this up with you. Like, okay, Beetlejuice had an animated series, and the characters kind of resembled them. But do you remember the Ghostbusters animated series?
Yeah, the real Ghostbusters.
Yeah, when I was a kid, like, and those action figures, I didn't put 2 and 2 together that they were the cartoon version of the live action actors because they were so far off.
Yeah.
Well, even Bill Murray's character, they like made him look like a chubby little Irish man. And like Egon had the swirl in front of his head. Ivan Reichman didn't have that like perfect like blondes, and his hair wasn't blonde either. Like he had
No. Well, and the jumpsuits are all different. Like I really have no idea how that came to be. Like, why did they make a cartoon that doesn't resemble? But I feel like that's just more. You have to make them stand out, right? Like you can't make them like look just like those characters. Just like they got different jumpsuits, right? Everyone had a different one. That's like the same thing as Ninja Turtles, right? It's how you tell them apart. I
Well, that's
think,
how you sell more toys too.
yeah. So like, I think that's part of the reason. Like that's why they don't really resemble their characters, but their mannerisms 100% did. How they talked, how they behaved, that was all accurate.
Like this guy's supposed to be Dan Aykroyd.
No, that's Dana Aykroyd's the redhead.
Are you sure?
Yeah, the brown suit, that's Peter Venkman.
So this is supposed to be Bill Murray?
Yes.
Like you're seeing me point on that, right?
Move it around a little bit. Well, now you're not. Yeah. Yeah.
That's
Looks like
Bill
he has-
Murray.
Yeah, that's the Bill Murray character.
See, that's not even close. Like I thought this was Bill Murray.
No, that's Ray.
And they got these two characters switched, her and him.
What do you mean they got them switched?
And why is Velma from Scooby-Doo in here?
Oh man, was there ever a crossover?
That would have been a great crossover, not Scooby-Doo versus WrestleMania.
But how did we get on this?
Because I was talking about the cartoons where the characters don't match with Beetlejuice, and they don't match with Ghostbusters.
You know what I also think it's probably is? It's rights. They probably don't have rights to their likeness.
That's why James Bond Jr. exists, because he couldn't get the rights to James Bond.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's probably it. That's why Beetlejuice is the same way. It's probably all that. It's just
I just have a problem that I totally thought this was Bill Murray. But this is supposed to be Bill Murray, and that just made it even worse.
Yep.
He wishes. All right, so sorry, I'm sidetracked a little bit. We're on here. Oh, Beetlejuice. Oh, what do you think about the Beetlejuice trailer or teaser? Teaser.
All you got was Michael Keaton, man. That's pretty much it. There's gonna be some funeral. The people that you already knew are in it, and then you see Michael Keaton, Beetlejuice show up at the end. This is. Here's what I say. You asked, like, is anyone really asking for a sequel to this? I think there's a lot to explore in this universe of Beetlejuice. They can do a lot with it, and so that's why I'm like, yeah, I'm in.
Okay,
I think
fair enough.
Michael Keaton is so good as Beetlejuice, and the fact that like he's almost like he's hardly in the original. Like if he's got to have like more screen time, and then also like I mean, what way do you go with it? Like, is he a bad guy again? Is he kind of like good? Like what's the edge? Because I mean, straight up, he's the bad guy in the first one.
Yeah.
So
I mean, he would almost have to be the bad guy in this one.
I mean, I guess, and then I guess what is his is it the same premise where he's trying to marry the daughter? Like that's the stuff that I'm curious. Like I hope they don't just follow the same MO and like, oh, he's at it again. Like that's gonna be kind of boring. We already seen that. Like you gotta change this up a little bit, or maybe it actually happens. He actually escapes. Maybe that's the whole thing, because that'd be more interesting. You got to get through this whole wedding thing quickly. So, and then also like, what happened to Alec Baldwin and Gina Davis, right? What happened to their characters?
Maybe
like
they're the surprise characters.
Maybe like these are the things like I have questions on, and are they like do some weird de-aging shit. But they didn't try to de-age Michael Keaton though.
No, they just put really bad makeup on him.
I thought it was kind of weird, right?
Yeah, it just looked like
weird.
Michael Keaton cosplaying as Beetlejuice. Give him more crusties around his lips.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll be better. I don't know.
I mean, you get a okay, so we have the three usual suspects with Michael Keaton, Winona Ryder, Catherine O'Hara. You have newcomer Wednesday from Wednesday. So Jenna Ortega. Okay, makes sense. I like other cast members is Monica Bellucci, and I like that Willem Dafoe's in it. So
that's cool. Willem Dafoe in it. I like that.
They talk about Hawaii in this one. Oh wait. No, that's development. Never mind. We're just gonna find out.
Yes.
I kind of don't want to see any other trailers. I think this is one of those. You and I talked about this. We saw the image. We made a bet on the last time we did a podcast, and we're like, give it 3 weeks. It was literally the next day.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm with you where I don't think they need to do anything else, but they will, because this is just a teaser and it really did not tell us shit. But it's probably enough.
They're gonna spoil the shit out of every aspect of this movie. I don't know. I'm yawning. I'm not even tired.
It's the sign that we need to move off of Beetlejuice.
Don't get it. Okay. Hey, this one we can speed through real quick because we expected it, but I think it took too long for development. Was the Penguin?
Yeah.
We knew it was coming out. Like, they told us they were going to make this before the Batman came out. And now they're making a mini series about the Penguin finally coming out. Maybe that's why they postponed the Batman 2. And for some odd reason, these just don't fit in this new DC ECU that's happening.
I don't know. I watched the trailer and I think I'm the weird one where I'm just not like that big of a fan of this Matt Reeves universe. And this like Penguin trailer, like the whole time I keep on thinking, like when I see his face, I'm like, oh man, that is really good makeup on Colin Farrell. The part that I don't like though is when he's like moving around and he's like in this fat suit, it just looks weird. It doesn't look right.
It looks like a dude in a fat suit.
Yeah, but I don't have much of a desire to watch this. I was barely paying attention to the trailer. It has been a long time since the Batman, and now we're gonna wait even longer for a Batman 2, which again I kind of don't care about. So yeah, I just don't really care.
I just don't care.
Yeah. So
we need that as a clip. I just don't care.
Just don't care.
Well, this one threw me for a Fruit Loop.
Nice.
Unfrosted. I vaguely remember us talking about this in news that Jerry Seinfeld was directing a movie about Pop-Tarts.
I think he directed it and helped write it. And you were just like, how the hell are they doing this? But dude,
has he directed before? I can't fathom this as Jerry Seinfeld's very first movie he's directed.
I think this is like his first feature length. That's my guess.
It is. Holy crap.
Yeah. But what I was blown away with is just I love the style of the whole thing. Like, it was very kind of bright. It's very surreal. It's it's all the weird characters that are in this.
Like, you're seeing Jim Gaffigan as Edsel Kellogg III. You're seeing Amy Schumer's Marjorie Post. Like, are these real people? I'm now going to go down a rabbit hole. Bill Burr is going to play John F. Kennedy, for example. Billy Monahan is Chef Boyardee. Like, dude, okay, you have Mikey Day, Kyle Mooney, and Drew Tarver as Snap, Crackle, and Pop. You have
Dude,
What?
there's that last like it was just so many famous people just peppered throughout, like and the title card at the end it's just outrageous. And so I can't wait. I'm sure they're not going to be like big, you know, scenes or anything, but whatever part, it looks like it's just going to be very entertaining. And Melissa McCarthy, Amy Schumer, Jerry Seinfeld's in it. Like those look like the big main characters.
Dude, Seinfeld and Larry David, they somehow just like have the best connections in Hollywood where they're like, you want to be in this movie? And someone in Hollywood's like, yeah, I'm going to be in it. Like, dude, going down the list, Cedric the Entertainer, Fred Armstein, you have John Hamm, it's just like this movie's madness.
Yeah, I think they just hear like, "Hey, Jerry wants you to be in a film, like just for like a day." I'm in. You know, I just feel like for whatever reason, like people love Jerry Seinfeld. So
he seems like a nice guy.
Yeah, he does. Yeah. So I was blown away by it. Was not expecting it to be that good, and I can't wait. I think it comes out like in May on Netflix. So, looks like a good time.
I'm in for watching it on Netflix. To go to a movie theater, I think they understand their audience is not that. So
even then, dude, I don't know. I'd probably go. Well, not me personally. People would go. People would go.
I was gonna say, Peter, it took you 2 tries to see Ghostbusters, my man.
Yeah, that's tough. All right, so moving on to news.
Let's do it. Real quick, I guess news is real quick. It's news because it's news to me and it's important and news to you. Sonic the Hedgehog 3 has a wrap photo and teases Shadow the Hedgehog. Cool. We knew Shadow was in it.
Yeah, they teased him in the end of the second one.
Yeah.
I think well, and also for a while, right? We didn't know Jim Carrey was going to be in it. And I think that was the other important thing, seeing his shirt that had is that what? I forget. Something about Jim Carrey.
It says keep calm and Jim Carrey on.
Yeah. Yeah. I like that. So
okay, they got Jim Carrey back. I like that.
Got Jim Carrey, they got Shadow, this is coming out Christmas time.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, nice little present for you, Ryan. So now they just got, again, I still am just, I feel like they must have been working on the animation, but like the fact that like they just finished production and we are in March, almost April, and this movie's going to come out at the end of the year. They have like 6 months basically just to work on the CGI, which you have all these characters that are all CGI. Like, it just blows me away. It's gotten so good now, huh? So fast.
They probably have them just like pre-programmed in.
That's true. They probably already, reuse all the. It's just redoing Shadow now.
Yeah,
that's all they gotta do.
The character models have to just be there. Like, I can't imagine them like going frame by frame at this point.
Good point.
They just plug in and match with mocap and clean it up and call it a day.
Good point. I mean, the fact that they can do like South Park literally in like a new episode in a whole week, that's crazy too.
Yeah. Oh shit.
So, we missed some of this news, but like, Ryan, did you hear about the Poohenverse? The Poohenverse? I think I'm saying that right.
Poohenverse, but I like Poohenverse.
The Poohenverse.
I like them both, actually.
Yeah. Have you heard about this?
No, but I want to now. The Poohenverse,
dude.
All the Poon.
So this is
Pooh.
Yeah, Pooh.
Winnie the Pooh.
Oh, Poohenverse.
I thought you were talking about Pooh Nanny.
No. This is Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. This is the people that brought us that. I guess they're doing Pinocchio. But you know how we always talked about we wanted to see like a monster, like Avengers film. Basically, we wanted to see like slashers like Freddy and Jason and Michael Myers and like all these horror characters like come together and then fight each other, right? We talked about that. They are doing this with their universe. So they're going to take all these, old school, like Pinocchio, I guess they're doing Peter Pan, and how they're going to make them all into like horror themed, and Winnie the Pooh, and they're going to bring all those characters together into a single film, have these various teams, and they're going to fight one another. So basically we're gonna get like a kind of like a bigger version of like Freddy versus Jason,
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
No.
The fact that there's like the fact that they just actually made Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey, and then that they're growing that and it's so popular, and now these guys are like, what else can we do? Let's just have a battle royale with all these characters. Like, it's fucking awesome.
I think it's awesome.
Yeah, I cannot wait. I hope they do this quickly, because the other thing too that I just saw was like Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey 3 is greenlit with more money, and
they're cranking these out quick too.
Yeah, so it's very possible that we have the Poohenverse very, very soon. But I don't know when is the Pinocchio one coming out? Like, I don't even know if they start production on that, but they probably have. Like, dude, it's very possible you have this for next year, or even maybe a couple of these movies a year now. Man, if they're taking the format of Marvel or DC, dude, we could have a whole bunch of these like fairy tale characters horror movies. So
I'm in. I think this is great. Dude, I want a horror Poonanny.
Yeah. So all right, let's get into our main event. I've been waiting for this, Ryan.
I know, and I keep on dragging it along.
Dude, I'm gonna cut all this so we get right to it.
I have an honest question for you, Peter.
Yes.
When I sleep tonight, what position should I put it in? Should I lock it at a 90-degree angle? Should I lock it at a close knit angle?
Are you a back sleeper or?
I'm a side sleeper.
A side sleeper. Okay.
I will start on my back, but I end up curling over and like sleeping and rolling over on my side. So my shoulders are fucked anyway.
I would do the 90.
Okay, 90-degree it is.
Yeah, lock it in.
Lock it in.
Because how I picture it, Ryan, is that you'll like do your rollover like onto your left side. I don't know if you do that, but like then your locked in arm will just kind of prop you up a little bit.
Smart. Maybe. That's kind of how it was with the cast initially.
Yeah, there you go. So, Ryan, we watched Ghostbusters Frozen Empire, if you don't remember.
Do you want to tell the listeners how we got there?
I drove my car to the movie theater.
Which day?
This started on a Tuesday.
Okay.
So, listeners, we usually record on Wednesdays. So we're like, all right, we got to see Ghostbusters Frozen Empire because I really, I told everyone we're going to talk about it, and I really wanted to see it, and I didn't have much free time to do that. So we go Tuesday night, and then we'll record on Wednesday, and we're about 40 minutes into the movie, and what happens?
Ghosts show up in our theater.
Yeah, and made us evacuate. It was bullshit. Didn't have my proton pack. I wasn't prepared.
Yeah, they didn't have the little Stay Puffs that you have in your background. They didn't tell us what the drinks were. None of that. No, there was no preparation for ghosts whatsoever.
No. or CO.
Oh yeah, really that one.
Yeah, they didn't know what to do. So call the fire department. And we have to, like, we're watching this movie, and I have lots of opinions, and then the lights come on, and I've been in a movie theater before where this happens. Like, you would think they would really like hide these light switches. They don't. Not at all these movie theaters. And I've had it where like the light, like they flick on real fast, and like, and then you hear something like, "Oh shit," and they turn them off real fast. So I thought it was one of those scenarios. And then our server comes in and is like, so there's a little leak, and we have to have everyone evacuate the building.
That's exactly how that went down. And she was
Yep.
like, I don't know if it was a joke. I was like, oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, we sat there for a bit just staring at her, and then she repeated it because we're like, this is the weirdest thing, and like we would just want to watch her movie.
Like, bitch, you're interrupting our movie.
Yeah, and then you made some joke about ghosts, got everyone to laugh, and then we all went outside.
Jeremy took his popcorn outside,
Well, I mean,
and
don't
he
blame him.
pressured us to leave right away. And I was like, dude, Peter drove all this way. This is Peter's favorite movie franchise of all time. Like, I'm not just gonna bail on this movie if we don't have to. You know, that was
Yeah.
my thought.
Yeah.
So
So then we do a whole bunch of standing around. They tell us, "Oh, why don't you go up front?" And then the manager will give you some more information. Never heard from a manager. The fire department's there checking out everything, and then they just actually say, it's cold outside. You can just stand in the the CO infested lobby of the theater.
Right.
There." So he said they tested it. It was fine, but they still had to test the rest of the building. And was it, Ryan, do you remember, like, it was like, I felt like as soon as we got in, like a security alarm, like some other alarm, really super loud alarm, just started going off. Like once, like it wasn't right when we first got in. Like it came on like a little bit after we got inside.
Yeah, because remember I made a comment. I said, "Hey, the alarm's going away," and we were like, "Oh, okay." And then this other just bad ass alarm just came out of nowhere and just started railing our ears.
Yeah. And
And
so
we, stood around and listened to it. Jeremy was trying to get more beer, but he didn't understand that like they were not serving things.
everything was shut down, yet they had no idea what to tell any of us. And I think all we were talking about, like Brian said, we just want to finish our movie. Like they better have stopped it. They better rewind it to where we left it. And finally, ending this is there's like, okay, you can come back to the theater. And I thought at that point, oh shit, we gotta go finish our movie. And then they're like, okay, we're gonna cash you guys out. I'm like, why? And our server was really not good at explaining stuff. And then what they did, though, they decided, again, because we never talked to a manager, they're shutting down the whole theater for the night. They're done. Too many alarms going off. They don't know what the fuck to do. And
The projection guy left for the day.
oh yeah, no projectionist, and yet it's all digital anyways. And they're like, we don't know how to stop it. It's just on a timer. We don't know how to rewind it either. I don't know if we can. Or like this is ridiculous. They
would
did
buffer.
Yeah, yeah. They had like another showing like at that time where Ryan and I were talking about like, do we go watch this one now and just redo it? And they're like, no, you can't. We're done.
Yeah.
We're shutting it down tonight.
But they let like one theater just finish their movie.
Yeah, which again, doesn't that makes no sense. So like, oh, there's only a couple minutes. Like, well, but didn't they just miss a whole chunk of it? Like, I don't understand why they're watching the rest of their movie if they just miss like a half an hour of it, if not more. Like, I don't know how long we were kind of standing there. It was at least a half an hour to like 40 minutes. So I don't know what happened at Alamo Draft House.
Pissed me off.
Was not happy. And so that whole time, dude, and I think we started talking about the movie right then and there. Like, why the sirens are going off. And then the whole time driving home and the next day, I just nonstop thinking about it. I only had half this movie to digest, and I was pretty like I was enjoying it. The laughs are there. I really found it pretty funny. Paul Rudd is amazing. And but there's a lot of like kind of slow parts where like if I was ready just to we were gonna record still on Wednesday, and I was gonna tell you all my thoughts and feelings and how like there was a lot of stupid shit that just happened in that first half that I was like, this is ridiculous and it's dumb, but I still liked it. Still liked it. And then Ryan talked me into like, dude, we need to go see it tonight. We need to go see it on Wednesday night.
Well, two things, Peter. I if I go to a movie theater, I can't just leave it unfinished like that, dude. Like if we were hanging out and this was Netflix, like, all right, dude, watch it on your own time. I don't care.
I don't know. I was totally prepared, man. I was totally prepared. That was like, I will probably have to go a whole month before I can go see this.
Yeah, and the other thing was like, dude, that like I said to you earlier, this is your movie franchise. Like, if we could put a franchise on each one of our friends and like categorize them, like Ghostbusters belongs to Peter. You know,
it's mine.
Yeah. So like, if Nikki's husband Nate decides to like contest that, like I would back you up and be like, no. Peter's Ghostbusters. You maybe get X-Men.
Maybe.
If Aaron doesn't want it.
Yeah. I feel like, dude, you really like X-Men as well.
Well, I do, but Ninja Turtles is mine.
Yeah, that's true. But maybe you could take two. I mean, you do have you got claws installed in your arm.
I did. And I did correct Nate on some X-Men lore as well.
Yeah.
Last time I saw him. I don't know if he appreciated that because he really stopped talking to me, but I was like, I don't care, you're wrong.
So oh yeah, so I was like, we're about to podcast, and then I was like, let me ask my wife, and my sweet, lovely wife, she's like, you can go see it. I was like, yes. And we can podcast the next night, and that's what we did. And holy shit, that movie got so much better, and they fixed so many loose ends for me, and I had a whole new perspective. So a movie that just was like, good for me turned into, I'm gonna say,
better.
I was almost trying to go to great, but I don't know if it's quite great. I thought Afterlife was great, but this is just a little step below it,
Yeah, this one does a good fan service for it does a good fan service, not for sure. Like it does enough to bring in some fans. See, my perspective of this was I'm glad you got to finish it, and I'm glad I got to finish it because where they stopped us, I was like, where's this movie going? What is going on here?
What do you mean, like, get to the main point?
And that's what left me like hanging, where I'm like, dude, if that's how slow this movie is, like I want to tear it apart. But when we finished it, I was like, oh, it makes all the sense in the world. However, I gotta throw this out there, Peter. I think they shoehorned the original characters in there just a little too last minute. Just my thought.
So, I know there's a lot of people talking about that. There's a lot of people, like I've seen a lot of articles just talking about how like they need to be done with the original cast.
No.
And I disagree. Was it a little bit like the finale and everything? Like, really, they didn't do too much, but it's not the point. The point of that whole movie, and is that they're a team, and they all showed up, and that's a team, man. That's fucking teamwork. Like, maybe they didn't do a lot of stuff. Maybe they didn't do too much busting, but they were there for one another, and I think that's the whole point. And when I really think about Ghostbusters, like, it's all about the team.
When I think about Ghostbusters, I think about Slimin and Bustin makes me feel good.
Yeah.
But you're right. There's
teamwork.
Yeah, there was some team. There was. What's funny is each team had their role. Like, the I'm sorry, Spieglers,
Spangler.
Spanglers. That family was their team, and they were
Yeah,
figuring out
that's
their team dynamic,
yeah,
and
and
then
that's what was really cool is like the they had their moments, right? Where like the new team and had their point, where they all got together and the old team got back together and helped one another too. Like
and then you
they
had the weird ancillary team with the weird Ghostbuster jumpsuits. It's kind of like they were the real Ghostbusters. They're the ones who had like the different colored Ghostbuster outfits. They were like, here's some proton packs. You guys can figure that out.
yeah, the engineers, like the like they're basically like so. All right, we really jumped ahead. Like so, this whole movie is like I really loved it. I have to say that like the fact that I saw so much bad negative stuff and like so many mixed reviews on it, and like critics are not liking this movie, which I get. It's not for
Fuck the
them.
critics.
There's yeah, and like there's a lot of like weird stuff. Like there's even some things that like I pointed out that was like this is just like it didn't need to be there, or just lack of like my biggest things was just some of the stuff like the character development or just some of the who these characters were out of place. Like one of my biggest ones is one of the things that you see early on is Ray gets this weird orb thing and it does some damage to his store and he doesn't tell anyone about it, and you see it in the trailer where that kid gets his hand frozen by it. I was like, Ray, if you told him right from the get-go that hey, this broke some shit and froze my whole counter, that guy probably wouldn't have gotten hurt.
Yeah.
It just didn't make sense. Like, why wasn't there any communication there? And that happened a few times throughout the movie where it's just like, why are they not talking or why are they not asking certain questions? Like that was the other thing. Like a big thing with this was the containment unit, and it was like partially frozen, and no one asked, hey, why is it frozen? Just like those are the things that just kind of drove me nuts. But I just kept to remind myself, I'm like, that's not like that's such a little thing, and it doesn't really matter. And then I also think like you're also put into this whole supernatural situation where does it really matter? Like you deal with so much weird shit, you're busting ghosts. Who cares something's frozen, like that was my other thing that my train of thought for this. So man, I want to jump all over the place. Those little nitpicky things that I had on it. Also, I thought like back to like shoehorning people in. I didn't feel like the original cast was so much shoot in. Like yes, they had their points in it. But I actually thought they added to the story. The people I thought that were really shoehorned in were the people from Afterlife. They brought back podcasts. They brought back the girl Lucky. Lucky just, for me, came out of nowhere. And I was like, why is she here? And she's just like an intern, She's an intern helping out with the kind of like this new, the new Ghostbuster corpse, that Winston is, flipping the bill for, and they like move locations and stuff. Like that was odd to me. And the whole podcast thing where like, oh, I told my family I'm in space camp and now I'm in New York City. Like, how the hell did you get to New York City by yourself? Like there's this like that was the stuff that was really strange to me, is like I feel like they could have done a better job of having them there. And maybe you don't even need Lucky in there. Like she really like I don't think she was necessary at all. Like you could have had a new love interest for the boy, the new fresh adult 18-year-old wolf man, Finn, whatever
His name is Finn Wolfhard.
Oh, okay, there you go.
Finn Wolfman. It's been wolf hard. um, maybe they're the real Ghostbusters. Think about it.
Who?
Yeah, Dr. Lars Pinfield, James McAster. He's the one where he has that hair and it's in a spiral. You got
like
podcasts.
the new people? Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, podcast never even had a proton pack. Like,
Podcast was the biggest waste of screen time I've ever seen in anything. So he's going to be replaced from Camille Nanjiani, who's gonna, with the real Ghostbusters, have firepower, and
yeah.
it's gonna be led by Patton Oswalt. Wasn't Camille Nanjiani supposed to be like one of the original crew of the revamp of Ghostbusters?
I don't know what you mean. I don't think
Like
so.
when they were going to try and assemble a new team instead of it, when they were talking about making the first sequel, his name was on that list. It was like Paul Rudd, him, I forgot the other ones, but I remember his name popping in there a couple times.
Maybe. I remember, and I don't know if this is just us talking, but I remember like talking about like a third movie and passing the torch, like, because I always heard that was like the initial plan, was like having some third movie, having a new group of guys or maybe a girl, and I think there was talk about Ben Stiller, and like this is like, yeah, when Ben Stiller was like big at that time, so like, not to say he's not big anymore, but like his heyday, like I'm talking about like Tropic Thunder, all those Zoolander movies, just basically when he was just nonstop pumping out these comedies, right?
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, Jack Black was on that list for a little bit.
Yeah, and I think that was at that time, though. I don't think Camille was around.
You know who would have been a good quartet of Ghostbusters would be all the guys from Silicon Valley.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Oh, dude, Thomas Middleditch, Zach Woods, TJ Miller, Martin Starr, Josh Bronner.
Yeah.
Those are Ghostbusters right there. Oh, dude, there'd be a lot of them, but that would be a hilarious cast.
Yeah.
And if it was directed by Mike Judge, we need to make a spin-off of Ghostbusters with them.
Well, so, oh man. So here's the thing with like that. Like I hope that this movie does well enough that it gets another sequel. I just hope they keep on going. Like, they have all these grand plans, like series and hopefully another movie. And I feel like they're like, this is like the true movie where I think they're trying to like blend the new with the old, right? Or old with the new.
Yeah.
Because it starts off where the Spanglers are in New York City. They're living in the firehouse, and they are basically the new Ghostbusting family. It starts off with them catching like this big old ghost, and they do some damage, and so that you get sent to see the mayor, which is Walter Peck, who was just ridiculous, and that really set the whole thing in motion. Where like basically they say like, oh, Phoebe can't bust anymore because she's too young, which she is only 15, so she's supposed to be 15. Here's my thing with that, is that if they were so concerned about that beforehand, why was she always there and had a proton pack on, and like, and implied that this is 2 years later from the events of Afterlife? Like, they've been doing this for a bit now. They are the new Ghostbusters. And it took that long for them to be like, you know what? The mayor is right. You are too young to bust ghosts. You're benched. Like, that was the whole thing. And I felt like that was one of the dumbest things. It just made no sense. And then there's a few instances where like people were yelling at her for, doing something that I guess she wasn't supposed to, but she was being a Ghostbuster and saving the day, and she just made a little bit of a mess. And then they would get mad at her. I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, you're dealing with all these ghosts and you're getting mad when something gets destroyed when you're fighting ghosts? Like, it didn't make any sense. And the fact that like, she was running around all over Afterlife with a proton pack and like saved the day in Afterlife. Like the fact that they tried to bench her in this sequel, like it just was so odd to me. But that sent you in this weird direction where this is the new thing that I'm trying to think if I like it or not. Because the original Ghostbusters, really, basically all the ghosts, like, like you didn't really care. The ghosts were meant to be caught, right?
Right.
You didn't think about ghosts moving on to the afterlife, not until Afterlife. And in that movie, oh man, is it okay to spoil that movie now?
Yeah, hell yeah.
That's it? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, Egon shows up and he's a ghost, and then he moves on to the afterlife, hence the whole name Afterlife. You have now ghosts in this new movie, Frozen Empire, where they actually interact like more than just like Slimer and they just slime people. They actually talk to living people.
Right.
And now you got this new concept for like, are you supposed to bust this ghost? This person, like basically this ghost that has a conscience,
You can
like
have empathy with the ghosts.
yeah, like it's this whole new dynamic, which I love that the movies are evolving. You're getting to this new thing, and like they always talked about different classes of ghosts, but now like they kind of gotta explain themselves a little bit. Like, why is there this type of ghost, and then there's all these really bad ghosts that are just creatures, basically. Like I don't understand. Like they need to get into that lore, and explain that a little bit. uh and that was just one of the things I thought they kind of fell short on. um Speaking of the lore though, like I thought they crushed it with the whole going back and like where the new baddie came from and like his lore behind it. Like and then actually like it went pretty quick. Like it was quick, like, hey, let me tell you a little story if you want to believe this lore or not. And that's all like the supernatural is, right? It's just, do you want to believe or do you not?
Well, they even brought up a good point, like where some of the characters were asking questions about ghosts, and they're like, "No, I don't know how that works." Like, it's okay to not understand. This movie made it okay to not have an answer for every ghost, and that's one thing I like about certain things in movies, because you can just write it in later, but not every movie has to have an answer for this type of character. And I think with today's day and age, with all these multiverses and stuff, we're seeking for that final answer or like this conclusion. And honestly, I think it opened up more doors. I think the
Yeah.
characters that they introduced, old, current, young, just open up an opportunity for more Ghostbusters and more stories to come in. You can have the side busters, you can have the old busters, you can have the family busters,
Yeah.
and all
If
of it will work.
they get into like the comic books, like dude, like the comic books, they start like branching off, right? There's different divisions or factions, they went international. Like, dude, there's so many places they can go with this franchise.
They could send podcasts to space, dude.
They could. Ghosts are everywhere. And like that's the part where like I hope that again, this movie does well enough, the fans enjoy it, which I think it's a great service just to like Ghostbusters, like the franchise in general. Is it the best Ghostbuster movie? No, but it's definitely fun. It's totally worth going out to the movie theater and watching it. Hell, I watched the first half twice.
True. Very
And
true.
you know what was interesting? I felt like that first half, the first time you watched it, Ryan, I was kind of like I felt like it was taking a long time. And then I watched it the second time. I picked up on some new stuff and it flew by.
It went by so quick, dude. I agree with you 100%. I was like, where's this movie going? And then the second time in, I was like, oh shit, we're already here.
Yeah. It was weird. Like I was kind of like actually like I was like not looking forward to like rewatching all that because I literally just watched it the night before.
Yeah.
But it was totally fine and I actually like enjoyed it more. And this is one like absolutely, dude. Like I will rewatch. I just hope again, I don't think this movie should kill this franchise. Like I hope they continue on because there's so many places they can go. And I think this movie's totally worth going out to the movie theaters. If you're a diehard Ghostbuster fan, I think it does it justice. I think you just gotta, like you described, Ryan, you gotta kind of maybe suspend belief a little bit. You got it's okay not to know everything.
Yep.
That's the thing. It's okay not to know everything, and not everyone has to be there and actually contribute to the team. They just got to be there for one another. I think that's the biggest thing is everyone just thought that was kind of silly is that you have like dude at one point was there like 10 Ghostbusters all in one room?
Yeah. There
Like
was a lot.
yeah. And it was a bit much, but dude, the quick one-liners that you got from Bill Murray, just having them all together again in their interactions, I just thought it brought back so many memories, and I loved it. So them not even doing that much, for some people, not enough for some people, I thought was just the right amount, to be honest. That's my opinion on it. So I could keep on talking and talking about this because I love it. But I think we gotta wrap this up.
No, I have a movie to review.
Oh, okay. Well,
No, I'm
let
just
me.
joking.
How did you all these things? Like, do you agree? Do you what are your thoughts on it? Like, I mean, did you think it was worth going to the movie theater and when watching it? And does it
Twice?
hold up? Yeah, does it hold up for a Ghostbuster movie?
Yeah, it does. It makes me because Brittany hasn't seen anything Ghostbusters related, it makes me want to actually go back and watch Ghostbusters again and um and just revisit those old stories and revisit with people who haven't seen it before. So I think that's the special thing about Ghostbusters. And I think this movie follows right in that tradition. You can introduce new characters, you can introduce new stories, you could bring back old like the ghost, like we saw vintage ghosts from old movies,
That
and that
was
was fun.
Yeah, that was fun. That was very fun. Some of the callbacks they did was I really enjoyed.
They made a character out of Ecto One, and I love when movies finally understand that you can create a character out of a car. I mean, Ghostbusters is a prime example. Back to the Future, the Batmobile. They this movie had a Bat Pod, so you're welcome.
Yeah.
They had a
I
Ghostbusters bike that did some Ghostbusting shit. So
yeah.
your favorite franchise does it too.
It was fine though. Like it wasn't like anything outrageous in my opinion, like the Bat Pod. Um, I just thought everything just made sense except for I one thing I remember thinking about, and this is kind of like was like Star Wars, why does the technology just look so dated, so old? Like it was the same thing in this movie. It's like it reminded me of the equipment they had in the 80s in the original movies. I'm like, it's okay to improve your equipment. Like,
Well, that's a good point. I think that's what they were doing in this movie
well, they did.
because
They made some upgrades, but like what I'm talking about, there's a computer screen, like the thing that they're using to like extract
oh yeah, yeah,
ghost.
yeah.
I was like, why is this so archaic? Like this makes no sense at all. Like,
That
why
was
is it
goofy.
just more of a modern computer? Like, I don't know why they decided they needed to make it so old school.
That's true.
So
That one was really goofy. I did catch that one, but yeah, they could have gave him a very modern office.
Yeah, I don't know, like, because there's like certain things, like certain equipment was like, oh yeah, that looks pretty modern, like, and all the science behind everything and how like they were doing things like in this modern age. I thought it's like, oh, that's interesting. I have no idea if that's true or not, but it felt accurate in this reality, in this world.
Well, it's funny like that you mentioned that watching X-Men 97. Um, I just thought it was a continuation, and it is, but there's certain things like there was a scene where one of the characters like, "Yeah, here's my card, page me." And I was like, "Who the fuck says page me?" Oh yeah, there are
In the
pagers in
90s.
97. And you're right, like they had smartwatches in there, but I was like, this is the X-Men. Why would they not have smartwatches in 97? Just certain things like that. Cars and even the actors in X-Men 97, the actor for Morph is a they them gender fluid person, and they even explain like Morph lived in a time and age where he had to have an identity. I can't take that away from that character because nobody back in that day talked that way. But Ghostbusters now, my point is they can evolve. And like why did Dan Aykroyd have like an old bike? He could have like spent some time and made a nice bike. They could have taken the 2016 Echo one and rebuilt that one. But who knows? I don't know. Peter?
You gotta go with the classic though. I don't know. I'm excited to see where the franchise goes. I hope they continue it on. I think they can do so much where dude, you could have like total like new teams, and you just have like Winston or Ray or whoever just show up randomly and just like, hey, here's what I know about this spirit, and or maybe here's some new equipment. Have fun, and then they're out. Like
And they're out.
that could be their interaction. I don't think they don't need to be done with them. Um, you know, I don't know if they need to be as heavily involved, but I honestly didn't feel like it interfered with this movie having the old Ghostbusters with the new. So, and I really want to see more Paul Rudd. He's just so good. And you know what? I we didn't really talk about this, but Camille Nanjiani, dude, he was hilarious. I loved his character. I loved what they did with him. I had no idea uh, how he was going to fit into this movie, and I thought they did a fantastic job with it. I really did.
He's a
So
good actor and he's funny. He's like legit like plays that how do you say it? Like he's unaware of his situation, kind of funny. Like
yeah,
oblivious to like but knows how to like play it off. Like he was a sneaker reseller, so like everything that he had in his house, like he was like, yeah, this is totally priceless to me, but I mean $50, something like that.
all right, Ryan. Let's get into our recommendations and call it a show.
Let's do it.
Yes! Yes! Oh! 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 Oh, God. Oh.
I'll have what she's having.
Yeah.
Still classic. I just realized Jack Quaid is Meg Ryan's son. Actually, I didn't realize that. It just hits me every once in a while.
Yeah.
Anyway, Peter, do you have a recommendation?
No, not. I mean,
You can
since we're-
read. This one's fun.
Oh, the Ninja Turtles. Yeah, the comic books. Well, you know what? I will do that. I will. Well, I'll do your Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the classics. And also, I mean, I already mentioned it before. I was like, I've read some of those Ghostbuster comic books, and like they have a couple different versions, and those are enjoyable. Some of my favorite, like just like little mini series. Like, is this still called mini series for comic books
Yes.
or limited series? Maybe it's limited series, but
I think that you can do a miniseries. I remember collecting Sonic comics and there were miniseries. Dude, I used to get comics in the mail.
yeah. So they did keeping it with theme, Ghostbusters and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and there's multiple limited series of that. So they did like one complete story, and they did another complete story of it. And again, talk about, I did not think that was going to work. I thought that was so weird, but they blended to the things that I love, and I thought it was fantastic. So Ryan, I think you should really read it.
Well, see, I love your recommendation because when something of your favorite interest comes out with something new, it helps you go back and revisit all the things that you loved about it. Last week you did the Ghostbusters video game. You've been playing the Ghostbusters video game. You're reading the comics. You're getting back into that universe, and I think that they did a really good job tying it all together. So it's still enjoyable for you.
Yeah.
I will always do the same for Ninja Turtles. That's why I'm going to start reading these books as well. However, I did see another movie, and I want to give it a quick recommendation. I might review it the next time if I haven't caught up on anything else. Oh yeah, Kong vs. Godzilla is this weekend too.
I know, which, dude, I don't like, because I feel like it's going to take some of the thunder away from Ghostbusters. But I've been hearing it's Kong X Godzilla is pretty fun.
That's the thing. I've heard that as well, which is very interesting because I don't have high hopes for this one. But I did have a chance to watch a very unique film called Late Night with the Devil, and I want to give it a recommendation because, Peter, it's an hour and a half of a movie, and it literally takes place during a late night show, and that's the movie. And it's fun to watch that way. If you don't catch it in the theaters, it's still in theaters, but it's a Shudder exclusive, so it's going to be on Shudder sometime soon.
Yeah, I think April 19th is what I was reading.
Perfect. Catch it in the theaters because of the experience, but if you watch it at home, still support this. But I'd like to mention that and keep that on your radar.
Yeah, I can't wait. Well, Ryan, I could talk about Ghostbusters all episode.
Let me unlock my arm so I can give you a salute.
Thank you.
Oh, that feels good.
I'm ready for bed. Lock your arm in place before you go to bed tonight, Ryan.
The more you know.
We'll catch you in some other dimension. Pew, pew
Hell
out.
Yeah. Pew pew out. You can see the stitches too, somewhere in there.
Be sure to visit B-Movies Beyond
You should be touching it like that. Oh, there's the thing.
Yeah, I got a thing on it.